So back during the height of COVID, I made this super low effort video log where I attempted to draw my Ivy Goblin OC in a unique scene shortly after designing her.
Okay, let's do this again.
And failed miserably. Not only did I tap out before I could finish lining it, but at some point I arrived at this cursed thing. It was mostly all a blur, but let's attempt to redeem ourselves today. So this character is easily one of my all-time favorites I've ever made. She goes by the nickname Sharks, and kind of acts as my bright little dewdrop of sunshine. But don't let that fool you. No, she can be a baddie too. So it's here in the recording where this thing spawns out from the depths of hell. I owe an explanation. See, I was struggling drawing her face in this upturned perspective, so I decided to model off of this floating dummy head, which, yeah, I clearly did not know my fundamentals at the time, and arguably still don't. That being said, let's see if things go a little smoother, seeing that it's been 5 years. So this is the screen cap that I pulled, because, right, this was an incomplete piece, so I never made like a JPEG, because that's when you condense everything down. I didn't get to that point yet. I had to pull this straight out of that stupid amateur recording that I mentioned, that I did in 2020. You can see the date right there. I don't know, I just kind of had this like flash of an idea to do this late last night. So we're going to lower the opacity down. Well, let's examine this just a little bit first. Okay, actually, hold on. If this is making anyone uncomfortable, I'll just chill out. I gotcha. Alright, now I can begin working. Okay, wait. Okay, no, that's overkill. Guys, stop. It's a tasteful nude. Come on, you've seen a tasteful nude before. And she's of age. Don't worry. So y'all just give it a rest. Anyways, you can see that I was doing this thing that artists do, where they kind of make contour lines around solids that are curvy. So that's what this is. Sometimes you can even do like a hollowed out view. Really, where things started going pear-shaped was the face. Like, I mean, I can't ignore some of the anatomy problems, but the face and the head, like that neck is definitely not where it needs to be. What is that jaw, though? That's where my brain's going. And here's that cursed, yeah. Let me just put a giant black X over there. No. And we should be good to go. I need to get closer. That looks like a trash can behind me. It's my laundry hamper. So what should I, ooh. No. I gotta crop this and then size it up and all that stuff. Oh, it's actually fairly large right now, but we'll do like, what's an actual size? 14 by 18 inches, that might be okay. And first things first, we need to pull up a reference of Sharks. I think I've got just the one. Boom. This is how she looks now. Back then, that was the only piece I've ever drawn of her. Now things are different. I've drawn her probably upwards of like 50 different times. And I think I've drawn her enough times I don't even need a reference. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's do this finally. Jesus Christ, dude. Obviously, we're gonna start with the face. We're gonna start with the damn jaw here. What do you look like that, dude? Oh, because it's 72 DPI. Oh my god. No, 300 DPI. That'll really F up your resolution. Oh my god, what if I have the same issues? Like, nothing's changed. Oh, I'm scared. I don't think that's gonna be the case. First of all, I definitely didn't know how to draw contorted necks at the time. What I'll usually do is probably have like a skin squish right here. This is her chin. Alright. That neck should not be clear back there. Like, it'd have to be connected to her back. Okay, here's torso, arms, here's your neck. Where I had this in 2020, it looked like the neck was like right here. Drawing over this face with the intent to make it look different, that's like new territory, because usually when I'm lining, I don't want to make it look as close to the sketch as possible. Unique Ivy Goblin nose. She has a very pronounced, like, fulcrum, is that what it's called? Let's just plan for lips right here. I don't know if this is how they're gonna look. I'm like paranoid that I'm not gonna have learned from my mistakes. First of all, one of the obvious things you can do, rotate the canvas. I've also got this tool, which is new. Smudge it around. Okay, her eyes are gonna be like here. And because she's upturned, probably gonna be like that. Her eyes are also a staple part of her character design. The eyelashes do this kind of thing. They follow this shape. Curve up and then out like that. We'll lay it on pretty thick. This is another part where I messed up. Let me figure this out first. So, originally, her head's also like extremely twisted. That's not what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen here, the left side of her face is going to be, at a steeper profile. if that makes sense. But just, flip here. This part of the face is barely going to be visible. Not to mention, her arm in this pose is also going to be covering that part of her face too. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little bit of that. And just do kind of the side profile of the head. I'm thinking that's going to look like this. Let me just take the whole canvas with me. Oh, she's supposed to have a cute petite chin, but I gotta do this for a second. Ah! Okay, she's looking at the viewer. She wasn't she? I feel like she'd have kind of a smirk here. Are we cooking yet? I don't think so. We got the ingredients. So, in this image, her eyes are just black. But that's not actually how she looks. I feel like it's gonna start making a ton of sense once I add the hair. Big old bug eyes. Another thing with the hair. This hair, what? Let me find the original piece. This is what her hair's doing in this one. I don't know how I lost that. And if we assume that it's parting the other direction, start with this kind of broad halo. And these are bangs, kind of. It's like a sideways parting bang. This is the third time I've made an art vlog of drawing sharks. She's a fun character to draw on camera, dude. Okay. Alright. I've always been a fan of like big, blocky, chunky hair. I don't know, it's just like, it's so cartoonish and fun. So I will try to get away with that sometimes. Like right here. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of volume here. Like a lot of roots are connecting right here. You know what I'm saying? If we were to imagine this piece in 3D space, it'd have depth to it like that. It's a fun tip, I guess, when designing characters. Let's bring this piece that I just drew down a little bit. Cool. I already think we're headed in the right direction. I guess ear time. Yeah, alright, Ivy Goblin ears. Big old freaking elephant ears. I don't know what the advantage is that poses, but, I don't know. It's best not to think about it. If I stress about whether or not certain details of like a species of mine make sense, or a race, I guess I should say, then I get like really bogged down in it, and I start thinking, oh crap, like everything starts unraveling. Like my world doesn't make sense anymore. So if you want to give your freaking character big ears, go for it. You don't have to like imagine that they're blind and so they have to have big ears to find their way around. Although, like a humanoid bat character would be so fire. Just, hey, I know that's been done. I mean, I can think of plenty of different spins to put on that. Dude, 2020. Let's talk about that. You know how like Gen Z, they're trying to chase the nostalgia of 2020? That is so real for me. Like the reason why I'm doing this was because I just wanted to like relive that moment in time where I had just designed this character. It was, mid-April. That was probably the most interesting part of, that whole COVID crap, because that's where it was really hitting the fan and we didn't know what to do. We were like spraying off groceries. Everyone was getting out of school. It was just really weird. And I guess I gotta forgive myself, but I really want to go back sometimes just to like remember what that felt like. Obviously, it was freaking horrible, and I'm romanticizing 2020. I'm sure every day I woke up and the first thing that was on my mind was the case count, But that's what nostalgia is. It's kind of a way to cope with game-changing events like that. I think it's a survival thing. Okay, what am I doing with this neck? Already, like, you can see that I've grown. Kill it! I don't care what you do, put it out of its misery. Alright. Earlobe. Despite drawing her like so many times, I still come back to this little sketch I made way back when. And I'm learning new things, like learning how her head shape's kind of like this. So what do we do there? Well, that's what we do. Cover that area with hair. These ears do kind of follow a bat pattern. There. I think the other ear might actually be obscure. Am I gonna even remember what that is when I render it? Just gotta remember, this right here is hair. This is ear. I swear, I'm gonna have to start f***ing numbering these like one of those coloring books. No, I run into that actually a lot, where I'm rendering something and I don't remember what a certain chunk is that I drew. And so I'll just color it like the skin or the hair, and then I'll realize later, oh, that was part of the eye. Or sometimes like it'll be part of the background. Like imagine I did this, like, and this was supposed to be negative space. I'm not gonna remember that. Anyways, so now we are approaching what is arguably the most iconic part of her hair, and that is this little hair section, which at the time it wasn't braided, but I've since gone ahead and braided it. Dude, all that work for the Actually, no, I was gonna say all that work for the neck, but if you remember, this is how this piece actually looks. Shit's gonna be dangling off like this. It looks like it starts out almost like a pseudo braid. Now it actually looks like a braid here. She's my island girl. That's the other thing about Ivy Goblin. They're from tropical island countries. Wow. Coming back to this is wild. After I've learned so much, it's just, man, in 5 years you don't feel like you're like doing much. One of these exercises will surely prove that, hey, no, you've actually figured a lot out. I think I'm gonna be doing a lot of these as I'm going forward because it's fun to like reminisce about your old catalog, where you were as an artist at certain points in your evolution. I briefly touched on it, but I'm not going to draw her nude. I might do some kind of like skin exploration just to like know where things are. The armpit is weird. Depending on how you're flexing your muscle, that's going to cause a cavity, right? But yeah, I'm going to fit clothes on top of this. I don't know if her chin's still going to be poking out much. This is where I ran into problems last time. Chin or no chin? No chin McGee. We're going to do chin. She's got a really stubby chin, so I got to be careful. Just religiously flipping the canvas. Someone's at the fucking door. Ah! Pause. That was one of my neighbor kids wanting to show me their bubble gun. You know, like the one that spins and blows bubbles. Or just whoever answered the door. I'm not doing anything important. Don't worry. Okay, so where's this hand gonna start? Let me take a good long look at what I was doing here. What are we doing? Like that? Dude, I don't remember. Oops. Where's her thumb gonna be? Because I don't know what I was trying to do with the hand. She might be like flicking water. I don't remember, dude. Oh wait, no, that was a different piece. Never mind. That was a different piece I made with her. Wait a minute. No! That wasn't her at all. That was Mount Lady, dude. From My Hero Academia. Oh my god. Yeah, I've definitely been doing this for 10 years. Maybe down the line we do a redux of that one too. Okay. New reference image. This is the outfit I'm talking about. It's very Studio Ghibli. I think in my head I was kind of designing this outfit off of like what I've seen Haitian girls wear. If not, I don't know where this idea for this dress came from, but basically it's trying to elicit those kind of like island schoolgirl vibes. It makes sense in my head. So we got a tight fitting collar here. Okay, this is probably the boring part, so I will check back. Alright, I kind of got lost in the weeds. I was looking at her face like, I could do some things off camera. She started looking more and more gremlin, so I was just like, nope, undo. Proof right there that I'm still kind of like beholden to my old ways, depending on the situation. That was a hard starburst. I'm just remembering on Good Mythical Morning, they said you can eat the wrapper on a Starburst.
Starburst wrappers.
You are correct.
Okay.
And I'm like wondering, are Starbursts unique in that you can eat the wrapper? Like, it just seems like a regular old like fucking wax paper wrapper. You probably just plop a Tootsie Roll in the same way, I guess. I don't have much to report. Wow. I wasn't expecting that to be so chewy. I tried swallowing it to get it over with. And that would be terrible if I had the lav mic on. I guess you're probably wondering what's going on here with this thing she's sitting on. This is some kind of like concrete slab. She's a city girl. Think like Jakarta or Kuala Lumpur. So it's a big city next to like literal volcanoes and just rainforests as far as the eye can see. So I'm just thinking like maybe this is like a parking slab or something. I do want another Starburst. I'm gonna be completely honest. Maybe I'll just like let it sit in my mouth. So let's show signs of it wearing down, especially at the corners. Corners offer a unique weak point when it comes to like concrete. Someone just took a bite out of this. You'll find a lot of this wear on the edges. I know you know what I'm talking about. That's the idea. It's probably gonna be like paint from that half down, maybe. Just kind of something urban. This part of my screen is like so worn. I think they start hearing a scraping noise. I think it's literally like me cutting through the screen. I mean, I don't have any visible scratches, but you can definitely tell it's not an even surface. So yeah, I should probably get a screen protector because I want this thing to last me another like 5 years at least. Like a glass particle on the tip of the nub. And this is that dress I was talking about. I'm just gonna have it flowing in the wind. Flowing all around, up and down. Shut the fuck up, dude. What? You know what? It's probably this nib, honestly. It's like so sharp. Look at that. I'm swapping pens. Lord help me. Oh, I got another one. God! Ah, what came over me? Maarzkid. Tries not to be dramatic. Also Maarzkid. Her dress is supposed to be pleated. It's actually supposed to be pleated all the way, clear up to her collar. And what that means is instead of being kind of ruffled, like how you usually expect. Pleated means it's creased throughout the material. So you get pleated blinds that are basically the same thing. It's like an accordion. That's what her dress is supposed to be like, but I also want like the organic feel of it flowing in the wind. So I think I'm going to opt for less of a pleated look. Maybe like subtle nods to it being pleated. Like we can have kind of this thing going on, but then down here, I'm gonna kind of smooth them out. Sometimes you have to think about that when you're focusing on the composition of your piece. You got to think about how everything flows together. If you want something more flowy, or if you want something like loud and abstract, you might opt for a different material language throughout, you know, your character's clothing. And this is very much an elegant piece. Okay, what is going to happen here? I'm asking myself these questions now. We're gonna get like compression, maybe something like that. Because of how she's sitting, this is kind of just gonna bend right here and drape down this entire material. So just imagine like you're doing a waterfall. Then you can worry about where everything's connecting at the bottom. Right here, it's like really compressed. I wouldn't sit on that if I were her. That's like that's a one-way ticket to freaking getting her shit ripped. This part of the piece, she's kneeling. The problem there is she has long-ass legs. And ivy goblins and snow goblins, which are two of the races in my world. Anyways, they are a pretty stout people. They're supposed to be an average of 4 foot, like 8 inches in height. Maybe 5. I think she's 5'2", so she's maybe on the taller side. But nonetheless, she's standing next to my dragon character. That illusion is no longer. This is usually how I do a foot. Start out with a soul shape. When did this become an art lesson video? Like, I'm okay with that. I feel like I do have a lot of value to offer, but I don't know if people want to see that. I imagine most of my viewers on these type of videos are gonna just come from like TikTok, and they don't really necessarily get what I'm saying when it comes to the actual art lesson aspect. Maybe I'm just giving you guys unnecessary crap. I don't know. So I think the difference here now is her knee might be in the air. Let's see how I feel about that. I don't hate that. Of course, her knee is not going to be connected down there. Okay, we got to figure. Okay. See, that's why you flip the canvas. Like, bro, what the hell's the knee doing way down there? I think her knee is going to be like right there, honestly. Might be crazy. But for one thing, the femur does a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to a person's height. So that's this bone right here, obviously. The hell is, what did I just draw? Okay, so that's where her knee's going to be, I think. Maybe even right there. So here's one way we can do this. Have the leg coming up like that. Or we can still have her kneeling and bring the block down. I'm kind of torn, honestly. No, I really like this. So now what's going to happen here is all this that I did, now her leg presents an obstacle for this waterfall, like I said. So things are going to contour around it. Contour. Yeah, right now it looks like her leg is getting pinned by her dress. That's a heavy freaking dress if that's the case. What is it made of? So we got to figure that out. This right here, this shape right here needs to be pushed a little further back. The strokes are getting messier and messier. This part of the dress is going to be just sitting right on top of her leg. That, and then it's gonna do this. Yeah, so this is gonna be the underside right here, this shape. You can kind of just cheese it. Like when it comes to these like heavily folded pieces of clothing, you can kind of cheese the folds. And what I mean by that is as long as the weight of the material looks the same, you know, it doesn't look like part of the dress is just missing. Like that's the most important thing. Like all that material has to be distributed somehow. And if it looks like part of your material just kind of disappeared when you made like a cut, there's a chance that that's not right. Art is subjective, but there are some rules. There are some general kind of principles. Hey, I mean, we're getting there. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I might reserve the rest of that for the render. So we went from this to this. See, this makes more sense. I don't fault people for looking at this and probably thinking like the anatomy checks out, but just because something looks like a person doesn't mean squat, honestly. Yeah, this is so much better. I love this now. Okay, dude, she's almost done. And by that, I mean just the line layer. If there was like an esports league for artists, I think I'd be like upper silver, maybe gold. And that's like on a scale from bronze to platinum to diamond to 500, like top 500, elite, legendary, whatever. I think I'm still like hanging around at like low gold or something. I don't know, like I have 10 years of experience almost, and I don't know, it definitely shows, I would say. Actually, dude, she needs to be wearing something on her feet. What does she wear? Where have I ever drawn her shoes? I don't think I have. Yes, I have. She wears flip-flops or something like sand. This is another one of her. Another current piece. She wears these guys right here. What are those? Sandals, they kind of are like exaggerated soles. I don't know, should I just draw feet? I got it. I'm just gonna draw her feet, and then her sandals will be like next to her. So she's just kind of like relaxing. Okay. There is a lesson to be had here. Here's the balls of your feet. There's the balls of your feet. And then I like to do this like little gap right here. This is where they curl up on the inside. And this is gonna be the big toe. Okay, I'm struggling. Okay, guys. This is what it looks like when you're wearing a shoe. But when you let the piggies fly, then you get a shape more like this. Whoops, this is the wrong way. That could have been one of the reasons why I was being confused by my own drawing. Okay, we're getting somewhere, don't worry. It's a lot of building blocks going on here. I think I'm just gonna draw like pressure points where the toes are. Okay? And then it just curls up like so. And there's the ball of the feet. Is it ball or balls of the feet? Dude, I don't remember. I mean, it kind of is two separate sections. You got this pressure point right here, and then this one. So I guess, I'm assuming it's balls, plural? Oh my god. Just take that out of context, why don't you? Dude, that looks weird. No. You know why? Because this toe's coming out from like the top of the foot. I wasn't realizing that I was doing that. Alright, I'm gonna make this the big toe now. Oh man. Dude, it's been a while since I drew a foot from the underside. Okay, that looks like a foot now. Maybe I can have them curling up a little bit. You have very little movement with your pinky toe. Actually, I can't even move my pinky toe. Your pinky too, like you can move your pinky, but oftentimes when you're drawing a hand, like the pinky's just gonna be like rested next to the ring finger. Or it's just, the pinky's always like rested, you know? I guess that's a helpful tip. When you're thinking about the pinky, just keep it rested. Freaking gremlin feet right here. That's okay. When I render it, yeah. When I render it, ... Part of this makes sense. I think it's right here that doesn't make sense. Do I need to look at my feet? Nah, good enough. Oh, we got through that together. Oh, shit. And her sandals, they're gonna be like, maybe here. Let's see. Go back to this one. She's got an iconic book bag. I think I've redrawn it. I still kind of like that book bag. Dude, how many times have I drawn her? Dude, what? I have this clear memory of drawing the book bag. Oh, you know what? No. I'm also confusing that with another piece I did. Oh my god. So I can have it kind of positioned on the corner like that. Yeah, I like that. That works. And once we get that in here, then I think we're golden, Pony Boy. Can we just admit that Stay Golden, Pony Boy is like just as iconic of a line as Run, Forest, Run? At least among freaking white people that went to school in Utah. So I guess we don't see the detail of like the side of the book bag, so I gotta kind of imagine things. Maybe like that? Usually you'll have like a pencil, kind of like that, like a pencil holder. I feel like I want it kind of indented a little bit. The weight of it's probably going to make it sag a little bit. Why did I shrink it, dude? Alright, I think I'm going to flesh out the details of that, and then I'll be seeing you, because then it's rendering time. Alright, Mark, carry us out of here.
So, this piece. See, I thought I basically had this in the bag by the time I cut the recording there. I was just gonna color it up, you know, clean it, cast some dynamic lighting here and there. But oh, buddy. Considering what this piece looked like when I finally did call it good, after literal weeks of just looking at it in silence thinking, something needs changing here. I'll just say, fasten your seatbelts, because the ride is far from done. Let's start out with the face. By now you've clearly seen me go back in a couple of times and basically reshape the entire thing. My broad explanation for this is that her likeness just wasn't reading that well, especially after I colored it. Sometimes adding the color layers highlights the features that I kinda just bullshit myself on when I was lining it, and this was very much an example of that. So this was a pretty huge jump. I initially wasn't going to record the rendering, but as I kept adding more and more to the piece, I thought it would be kind of criminal to just, not show at least a little bit of my process there. Basically, I did another intense lighting thing like I like. It especially pops with her since her hues are already fairly warm. I mean, she's literally Minecraft terracotta. Along with that, I also completely trashed my original idea for the background that I had in 2020 in favor of something that really just takes you there on that island with her. I also wanted an excuse to draw the active volcanoes present on the island of the Remil. That's the name of the island, by the way, that she resides on. And boom, there it is. Turns out this was the first piece I've done in 3 years that carried this level of detail. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's far from something I can't be at least a little proud of, right? So yeah, if I demonstrated anything that I didn't before, it would probably be the level of patience I've attained. I really can't call something complete these days until I can safely see it hanging on my wall. Which I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing all the time at least, but dedication. It's a discipline that doesn't get acquired overnight. Why am I struggling so bad? This was stupid, dude. Okay, so that pretty much wraps this all up. It was a fun project. Like I said, I hope to do more of these. I think I see that in every video. I hope to do more of this kind of format. Just something I do. But no, I'm serious about this. I know other artists, we like to nerd out over people's legacy, where we came from, where we're at now. That kind of thing really gets the buzz. Anyways, I pretty much don't have anything else to add at the moment. This is just this was just a whatever project, and now I'm actually editing it, and it's starting to become one of my featured projects. Not to mention the art side of things was also quite the task. Very grueling indeed. So yeah, along with practicing discipline, we also need to practice knowing when not to pick up a new project. Not saying that I'm opposed to how it turned out. This was fun, ultimately, but I don't know. I definitely bit off a little more than I can chew. But now we have this, so I guess it was worth it. But with all that out of the way, I will catch you legends on another day. Gotta bounce.